What's up? What's going on? What's good? Boxing Source here with a new video. And this video here is to talk about Deontay Wilder, the former WBC heavyweight champion of the world. He has been on an interview just recently. This pretty much ended, I'd say, 30 minutes ago, probably less than 30 minutes ago. Okay, you'll be able to find it through YouTube. But there was a few comments coming from Deontay Wilder that were very bothersome to me. Very bothersome. And it follows up with the video that he posted pretty much over the previous weekend when he was talking about what happened between him and Tyson Fury. Now, in this video, he goes over in detail why he, I guess, feels disappointed in Tyson Fury, right? That Tyson Fury did this with his glove and, was modifying his gloves in both fights or whatever it is, right? But also, he was talking about the history between him and Tyson Fury going back to around 2017, 2018, when you had Tyson Fury being on his way back into fighting shape. And once he became into fighting shape, then he was able to face Deontay Wilder on December 1st, 2018 over at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Now, going into the lead-ins for that particular fight, you did kind of see that by the time Tyson Fury had his, first couple of fights when he came back in 2018, that they announced that Deontay Wilder was going to fight Tyson Fury. Okay, that's cool. They go ahead and they have the first fight December 1st, 2018. We all know that it became a draw, right? Cool. Now, following that, you had the instance where Deontay Wilder had the option of either going forward with the rematch or moving past that and going up against Anthony Joshua for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Now, within about, I would say, 10 to 14 days after the fight on December 1st, you did have Anthony Joshua on First Take with Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith. And he did say that he wanted to fight Deontay Wilder for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world at the time for April of 2019 in Wembley Stadium. That's what he stated. Okay. Soon after that, you kind of seen that Deontay Wilder was making moves to try to have the fight against Tyson Fury again. So that's basically what his move was. But what he didn't expect was for Tyson Fury to sign with Top Rank Promotions or Top Rank Boxing and have a deal set in place for Tyson Fury to fight two separate fights and not fight Deontay Wilder next, which had Deontay Wilder for a brief time holding the bag. And when we saw that he eventually faced Dominic Breazeale to have that defense of the WBC Heavyweight Championship. Now, what's interesting is in this particular interview or this conversation that Deontay Wilder had earlier today, he said that, I didn't really have to fight Tyson Fury. I could have gone ahead and taken more money and not fight Tyson Fury again. But I went ahead and I gave him the opportunity. That's kind of strange there. So you mean to tell me that you ended up passing up on more money, from your words, you ended up passing on more money to fight Anthony Joshua, whether it was going to be at that particular time for April for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, or later on down the line when you had that offer from DAZN that was going to be a 3-fight deal where you would fight Dominic Breland and have 2 fights with Anthony Joshua. So you passed those up. Not just a single fight in April, but the 3-fight deal where you would have been able to fight Anthony Joshua. That's what you basically stated in this interview, or what Deontay Wilder stated in that interview. Now, given that, let's fast forward to past February of 2019, after Deontay Wilder defended the WBC title against Dominic Breland, first round knockout. Anthony Joshua put out the offer once again. Let's see if we could have this fight. Deontay Wilder declined and said that he is fighting Luis Ortiz and that he's fighting Tyson Fury. So that was another instance where he could have fought Anthony Joshua. It would have been for likely more money, and he passed on it. Like I said, in this particular interview that has been posted on YouTube today, Deontay Wilder said that he passed on more money to fight Tyson Fury. Right? Okay, so there it is. So he has the fights with Luis Ortiz and Tyson Fury. February 22nd, 2020, he loses to Tyson Fury by a 7th round stoppage. Now, here's the thing. That fight is over. He gets stopped. Here we are on November 9th, 2020. We just had, a few weeks ago, the news that Deontay Wilder did release his chief second in Mark Breland. Now, you see what he did in the video that previous Saturday, talking about a disloyal trainer. In this video, he goes more into, I guess, Mark Breland being a disloyal trainer, that, oh, we were riding since the beginning, and that I told him many times not to throw in the towel and things like that. That's kind of funny to me, because I've said in the previous video that Deontay Wilder said after the fight against Dominic Breland that we risk our lives out here, and it's a blessing that, we could, have animosity, but we could just go in the ring and duke it out and then be able to go back home to our families. That's pretty much the gist of what he said after his fight with Dominic Breland. So how are you going to go from that to basically arguing with your chief second, talking about throwing in the towel, when if he didn't throw in the towel, there was a huge possibility, yes, I'm saying it, a huge possibility that you wouldn't have a 3rd fight anyway, because you would have been seriously injured. And regardless of what has happened over the course of this year, you may not have had the opportunity to fight Tyson Fury again this year. Or maybe not even next year. We've had too many fighters that have had their careers ended or their lives ended because fights aren't properly stopped. It's about safety in the sport of boxing right now. Of course, going from that previous year that you had Patrick Day. Like, Patrick Day, didn't have that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Multiple others. But here, you were complaining about a trainer that cared about your life, that cared about your future, physically and financially. But going past that, now you did say in this video that you said that, let's see, I was ready to fight Tyson Fury in September, and they had the possible date for it in October, but there was like no venue ready or anything like that. So if that's the case, then why did the opportunity come up where they said that the contract was expired and you didn't say anything until, like I said, about 9 days ago? This is what we found out following that video from 9 days ago that he posted on his Instagram or social media. He is going forward, at least he says he is, and he's going forward with suing Tyson Fury. And with that being said, I'm like, you know what? If you're going to sue Tyson Fury, how about this? Why don't you go ahead and try to sue the Nevada State Athletic Commission? And since you keep bringing up that first fight up, why don't you go ahead and put a lawsuit towards the California State Athletic Commission? Because both of those organizations would have been responsible for not paying attention to what Tyson Fury was doing. But they were there every single step of the way. So, if you're serious about saying, you know what, let's move on from Tyson Fury, I got these lawsuits, I got the evidence, okay, then bring in the Nevada and California State Athletic Commission, because they're also on the docket, or whatever it is, for allowing, I guess they allowed all that stuff to happen, what Tyson Fury was doing, right? So, you got to add them into it. So if he's about those lawsuits, then bring him up to those two organizations. Last thing is, with him saying that he's moving on from Tyson Fury, he said that he may possibly try to go for a mandatory position either with the WBC or any other organization. I still find that interesting. Why would you even try to do that when you had the most lucrative bout out there for you to have? Or at least say, you know what, it may not be possible to have this fight right now, then let's wait it out. You have Fox and ESPN that were going to be there that wanted to have that fight happen. So why not just wait it out? I don't understand that. But he says that he's moving forward, and he says that he's going to bring up those lawsuits. We're going to see about that, because if he does that, guess what? That third fight between him and Tyson Fury is out the window. And that was going to be his most lucrative fight up to date, because it would be around $20 to $25 million for that fight for Deontay Wilder. He's not going to get that anywhere else, especially with him not having the WBC title. So now what is he going to do? We will see in the next few weeks. Or the next few months, who knows? But that's it. That's what I got. Like I said, you could go ahead, find the video, find the interview. You can see what he said. You can have your thoughts on what he said. But as for me, my thing is, if you're serious about going forward with a lawsuit with Tyson Fury, add in the Nevada and California State Athletic Commissions on that as well. That's what I got. That's it. I'm out. Catch us later. Peace.